Welcome to a new Daily Top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
After a recent study found 1 in 8 men under 35 admit to taking condoms to funerals, just in case. What's your experience with this? At that rate, I think 1/8 men probably just bring a condom everywhere they go. This was me until I was about 23. To be young and hopeful. Is this actually a case of, oh, I have a funeral to go to, let me grab a condom just in case, or is it I carry a condom just in case? Sadly, today I'm attending a funeral. A Google search showed 58% of all males under 35 bring a condom wherever they go. So they're really leaving the condoms at home for the funeral. Or they're not admitting to it. It sounds like they asked a bunch of men and 7/8 were either people who don't carry around condoms everywhere or were like, I don't specifically take a condom to a funeral, and then the 1/8 were like, I mean, yeah, I do. Because I carry one everywhere. 12% isn't really that notable. Plenty of single men just carry condoms with them whenever anyway. Let me guess. The study came from Trojan or some other condom manufacturer. Yeah, I imagine most just generally have one in their wallets. And don't bother to remove it for special occasions. Out of respect for my sadly departed best bud, I removed the condom from my wallet while comforting his grieving widow. Wallet really isn't a safe place for a condom long term. Very high chance it will no longer work correctly. Morning wood. To be fair, 99.9999999% of the time men won't need a condom but will bring one just in case. The one time you don't have a condom will always also be the only opportunity you'll have to get laid this decade, and you don't want to miss that train. Better have a condom and not need it than need a condom and not have it. The other 7 are just raw dogging it with second cousins. Gotta get the family numbers up after ya lost one. In Alabama they have a saying, it's easier to go across the hall than it is to go across town. I went to my grandma's funeral and hit it off with this hot nurse. Things were going great until my brother pulled me aside and said it was my second cousin. You know who shows up at funerals for old people? Family members. Pretty sure second cousins are completely fair game. Your brother yoinked you. My dad's first wife turned out to be his second cousin. He wasn't at all related to wives 2 and 3, as far as we know. I gotta think this has something to do with wedding crashes. Grief is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac. Chaz. I went with Chaz, who you forgot to tell me is totally insane. He also might be a genius because it actually does work. He's cleaning up. So damn beautiful. With every death there comes rebirth. It's the circle of life. We're gonna be alright. Makes humping motions. You do not need a condom at a funeral. Can't get the dead person pregnant. Well, first of all, through God all things are possible, so jot that down. I'll bet you $1 that 100% of those guys take the same condom everywhere they go. One would hope they swap out that same condom every once in a while. You know, before it rubs through. I mean, I have some in my wallet. But to be honest, with the lack of action, I'd be better keeping wet wipes in there for when I'm eating wings. Wallet is asking for your condom to fail. Padded spot in a bag where it's not dealing with constant friction is better. In the wallet can cause microscopic holes. Edit. Fixed the accidentally deleted words. But surely most men don't carry around a bag, whereas they do have a wallet. Less risk using a dodgy condom rather than none at all, because I left my contraceptives backpack at home. Perfection is the enemy of progress, and all that. Corpses could still be potentially carrying diseases, so doesn't hurt to be safe. Like cold apple pie. How do you delete someone else's comment? One stiff at a funeral is enough. I remember seeing a really hot chick at my grandmother's funeral. Immediate thought was I should chat her up. Then my brain went to, what if she's family and we just never met? I just went back to mourning. Ask her first. Or don't and ball out. Not much point in asking a dead person. I mean, shouldn't single guys bring condoms everywhere regardless? Just not in your wallet, you will destroy them. Old school Game Boy game cases are the perfect size. When the ladies see you with your Game Boy, you're almost guaranteed to get laid. Deleted. It's called hope. You lose it sometime during your 20s. Well, if you'd like to have sex, it's good to be prepared. Not if they're a loser. I don't bring condoms everywhere. But I'm not a loser. My fastest Minesweeper time is 80 seconds. Not really, unless you plan on having sex in public somewhere. It's really only going to be necessary to have one with you if you go back to her place and she doesn't keep them for her own protection. Otherwise, if you're just bringing her back to your place, keeping them at home is fine. And most guys aren't going to be having spontaneous sex with a random person with any frequency to warrant bringing one with you everywhere at all times. I can see the point you're making, but in my experience people do have random sex outside all the time. I'm a woman, but I'm going to point out that grief affects everyone differently. Some people get an intense need for sex when they are grieving. I speak from experience here. Perhaps they're carrying them everywhere already. But choosing to take some specifically to a funeral makes perfect sense to me. What sort of funerals are you having sex at? I mean not at the funeral, but someone I met there later that night. Man shrugging, light skin tone. Victory loves preparation. The mechanic. I'm not a man and I've taken condoms, just in case, pretty much anywhere. I've told folks to take condoms, just in case, to a festival who I was sure would never have a one-night stand and who I had never even seen mingle with any man, woman. It's a safety. The thing costs less than $1. But if anything some wow would happen, not having it could cost you your healthiness or independence, freedom due to a child being your new responsibility. Unless you absolutely, 100% am sure you will not be having sex that day and no one will be able to change your mind. Carry a condom. And having visited a funeral is likely not impactful enough to everyone to make them absolute sure of that. I am 100% sure I will not be having sex every day. Different category as I am married, but we had no problem just running to a store and getting a pack. I don't get the impatience that a 10 to 15 minute detour would ruin something as a decision that I would want to make. It's not sexy, but we always continued where we left off. Edit. I guess I see it as a flag. I would want a guy who is able to be patient 10 minutes and do things the properly rather than that. Impulsive. Responsibility and maturity is nice. But I am picky and hooking up isn't something I would do.